You've completed your last jump puzzle and all your secret chests, and now it's time to enter the Court of Oryx. Before we get started, here's a diagram of the encounter. Feel free to screenshot it if you need to, because I'll be referencing it as we go through. As always, if you find this video helpful or entertaining, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button down below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's get into it. You're now in the final room of the raid, the Court of Oryx, and you can see there are 4 plates and 2 bosses. These are the Daughters of Oryx. Kill the daughters to complete the encounter. But how do you do this? Start by assigning one person to each plate and have them go stand next to it. My team labeled the plates like this as you see in the diagram, but you can label them however your team sees fit. Have the other 2 players be floaters, so have one person be in between the far plates and one person be in between the close plates. You'll notice that there's a knight on one of the plates. Kill this knight to start the encounter. Once you do that, one person will get the debuff Torn Between Dimensions, and they will not be able to shoot anything. Note that if you die with this debuff, it'll randomly select a new person, so don't worry. If the person selected to be torn between dimensions was in charge of a plate, have the floater go cover their plate. Wherever the knight spawned at the beginning of the encounter is the first plate that needs to be activated. So whoever is in charge of that plate needs to kill the knight and jump on it. When they stand on it, they'll be able to see a ball of floating light above one of the other plates. Once they see it, they need to call out which plate that is. Whoever is in charge of that plate needs to go stand on it. So if it started on L1, whoever is in charge of L1 stands on L1, then looks up for the next one, and if it's L2, they say L2. By standing on both of these plates, platforms will appear in the air above these 2 plates. Note that if either player steps off their plate, all the platforms will disappear. Whoever is torn between dimensions needs to go to the starting plate and jump on those platforms up to the ball of light and run through it. Once they get to that ball of light, they will no longer be torn between dimensions. It can be confusing which platform to go to first, so the best call out is when the knight is killed, the person jumps on their plate and says their plate to whatever the next plate is. For example, if the first plate is R1 and the second plate is L1, then they say R1 to L1. That way the person who's torn knows, okay, R1 to L1. I jump on R1 first and I'm running to L1. Repeat these same steps 3 times. But on the 3rd time, instead of a glowing ball, it will be a brand stealer buff that they need to interact with and pick up. Once they get that buff, they need to jump on the platform of the daughter that is shooting them, and steal the aura from them by holding the interact button. While they're stealing the buff from the daughter, everyone else needs to go stand in the designated damage spot. If you use Wardcliff or Hothead and Galley, you need to go stand on the platform across from whatever daughter you want to damage. If you're not doing those strategies, there are lots of spots you can stand on, just decide as a team. Whoever is in charge of stealing the aura needs to steal the aura and then run to their team to defend them. Take note that there is a timer on the left side of your screen for the entire encounter, and once it hits 0, one of the daughters will activate a wipe mechanic. To be safe from the wipe mechanic, everyone needs to stand in the aura. Rinse and repeat this until you've killed both daughters. Note that if you kill one daughter, in the next damage phase you have to kill the other one or your entire team will wipe. Also, during damage phase you can only damage the daughter who's shooting. So if you're in charge of stealing the aura, you have to steal the aura of the one who's shooting. Damage phases will take turns switching back and forth between the daughters. Once you defeat both of them, the encounter is complete and you're on your way to Oryx. I hope this video is making your raid experience more enjoyable. Again, if you found this video entertaining or helpful, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button down below. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day, Guardians.